Hi everyone, you're welcome to Prep Station 2025. This is Economics UTME. Let's go into the topics. So our first topic is economics as a social science. And in this session, we should be able to define economics properly and also talk about the concept of economics and the basic problem of every society, mine and yours. So what is economics? Let's start with that question. Well, so many people have defined economics in different ways. We're going to talk about this guy. His name is Leonard Robbins, and he said economics is a social science that studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means, which have alternative uses. Note the keywords there. The keywords are social science, relationship between ends and scarce means, and of course, alternative uses. So let's talk about the basic concept in economics. The first one is wants. So what do you really want? Of course, I know you want to pass your exam and your wants are unlimited. You want more than passing your exams. You want a car. You want all kinds of things. The second thing I want to talk about is scarcity. For everything you want, they are scarce. The things to get them are very scarce. Like my time is scarce. Like your dad's money is scarce. That's why they don't have enough of it. So scarcity is talking about the things we have that are limited. Another thing is rationality. One of the reasons why you chose Prep Station above all other options is because you're rational. In economics, we believe you think smart, you know what's in it for you. At some point, we can call it economic greed, being selfish, led by the invisible hand. Then you make a choice in economics. You have to choose between alternatives. And you have to use the concept of rationality to make a choice, to make a decision. So every time you pick a burger over something else, it simply means you actually like the burger, and that's choice in economics. Then if you make a choice, you have to suffer what we call opportunity cost. For every opportunity you have, there's something you have to lose. There's a cost for it. So for you spending time with me, learning about economics, of course, you don't get to play with your best friend. So that's part of what we need to know in economics, a basic concept. Here we go, scale of preference, which means we're going to put our needs, the things we want, in hierarchy, picking the best one at the top. So whenever you write a list of things and you write the best one at the top, of course, that's a scale of preference. Ordering your needs or wants based on what? Hierarchy. Then in economics, it's very important for us to know what production is. Production is the making of goods and services. Like I am teaching you right now, I'm involved in production process. I'm rendering a service to you. And the camera, the lights, everything around here, even this fantastic screen, is part of production. Somebody made it somewhere just for you. Distribution is how all these beautiful things I mentioned earlier gets to you. It's about how you receive your things. Of course, you have made an order before from popular markets, online markets like Jumia, Konga, and the likes. Of course, it gets to you somehow. So we call that distribution, how these things get to you. Finally, here's the part you should be excited about, consumption. That's you using these things that you have. Everything you've bought, using them. Consumption is simply the usage of goods and services. So you are consuming knowledge from Prep Station right now. That's consumption. So let's talk about the basic problems we have in our society. Here is a fantastic burger right now. I know this is yummy. You probably want something like this. But the question is, before this burger existed, somebody thought about these three basic questions. Number one is what to produce. What should I make for you? And for whom to produce? Who should I make this for? And how should I make it? The key thing here for us to understand is that we have to answer these questions to produce anything in economics or distribute it or even think about consumption. So of course, some people thought about you. Of course, you need to pass your exams. That is for whom to produce. And what to produce is concept or videos that teach you how to pass your exams. And that's what Prep Station did. And how to produce this, of course, you have to come to our studio to find out. And let's look at some questions in economics that will help us understand this better. So I'll read the question, look at the options very fast so we can do it together. So what is the fundamental economic problem faced by all societies? Do you know the answer? The answer is scarcity. I told you earlier, things are scarce. We don't have enough of everything. Even the air you breathe, trust me, you don't have enough of it. Have you seen people in the hospital needing gas, needing oxygen? Yeah. Number two, wants are different from needs because wants are. So do you know the answer to this? Can you find out the complete sentence here? Oh, well, the answer is desirable but not necessary for survival. The things you want are things that you probably need but not for survival. Survival means you need like water, you need food, you need shelter. These things are very basic to you. You must have them. But thinking about your textbook, as important as the textbook is not needed for your survival. Without that textbook, you will still pass your exam. Kudos to Prep Station. Number three, a rational consumer is one who does what? Can you figure out the answer? Okay, I'll tell you. The answer is someone who chooses goods and services that maximize satisfaction. In economics, we make choices and based on our rationality because we want to enjoy whatever we are buying. We call that utility. So number four question, the scale of preference helps individuals and societies to do what? Can you find the answer among the options provided? Well, the answer is it helps them to arrange their wants in order of importance. So right now, I'm going to ask you to, at some point, write a list of the things you want and arrange them according to the hierarchy or according to how important they are to you. Number five, which of the following is an example of production? So is it A, is it B, C, or D? Have you figured it out yet? Okay, so the answer to this is a farmer harvesting beans. That's production. Yes, a farmer plants something and it produces that stuff that we call that production. When the product the farmer has made, like the beans, gets to you, that's distribution. And of course, when you're eating it in your living room while watching a video on Prep Station, that's consumption. Number six, which of the following best describes consumption? Is it the process of creating goods and services? Is it the use of goods and services to satisfy human wants? It is the method of transporting goods to market? Or is it the production of raw materials for industries? So the best answer for this one is, of course, the use of goods and services to satisfy human wants. So if Prep Station makes a video as good as this for you, and it's sitting somewhere on YouTube and you don't go there, you're not consuming the content that's been curated for you. But until you log in there, tell your friends about it, and you guys join in watching these videos, that's what we call it, what? Consumption. So I'm just trying to tell you, don't let this video be for only you, make other people watch it, so there will be more consumption in society for our exams. So number seven is, the basic economic problem arises because of what? Is it because people do not earn enough money? Is it because government do not regulate markets? Or is it because resources are limited but human wants are unlimited? Or is it simply because banks charge high interest rates? I think right now you should know the answer. Of course, the answer is resources are limited but humans' wants are what? Unlimited. Like I said earlier, there are a lot of things you want right now. And even when we give you some of the things you want already, you will still come up with more wants in the future. And this brings us to the concept of the problem in society, which we call economic problem. And this problem is not just for me, it's not just for you, it's for all economies, for all situations, it's for all countries. So this is the next question. Number 8. A student has 30 naira with which to buy a ruler costing 18 naira and a book costing 25 naira. If he buys the book, his opportunity cost is what? Of course, we all know this student wants to get two things. It's either a ruler or a book. Now, the student was able to buy the book. So what is the opportunity cost? We all know the answer should be the ruler. Because if he can buy the book, what he has not been able to buy is a ruler. So for every time this student buys this book, he has the opportunity of buying that book. The cost of that opportunity is not having a ruler. So that simply means that whenever you choose something in economics or in real life as it is, you will definitely lose something that you cannot have. So like I said earlier, every time you spend reading your books, it's like 5 or 10 minutes you cannot spend with your best friend or with your dog if you have a pet. So number 9 is a decision on input combination solves the economic problems of what to produce, okay, for whom to produce, what to produce, how to produce, and when to produce. Which one do you think it solves? Of course, we know when to produce is not part of an economic problem, but among these three, what do you think is the answer? Well, it is how to produce. I'll explain this quickly because when it comes to how to produce, in economics, we have 4 factors of production. We have entrepreneurship, we have land, we have labor, and we have capital. So when you want to produce something, you can combine these factors of production. Of course, we all know the entrepreneur is the person who puts them all together. So while producing things, while figuring out how to produce something, like maybe this board itself, somebody has to think about, should I need more capital? Capital means, do I need more machines? Do I need more equipment or tools? Or do I need labor, the people that can use these tools or machines to make these things? Combining them determines if we're using labor-intensive production or capital-intensive production. Let's go to the last question, number 10. Opportunity cost refers to what? Is it the financial cost of a good or service? Or is it the amount of money spent on production? Or is it the next best alternative forgone when a choice is made? Or is it the total cost of all available alternatives? I'll give you some time to just figure this one out because it's the last question. Very good. I think you've gotten it already. The answer to this is the next best alternative forgone when a choice is made. This simply means that every time you make a choice, what is your next best alternative? To explain this further, imagine that I could be at home right now doing either of 3 things. Number 1 is I'm actually watching a video of my presentation on Prep Station. Number 2 is I'm actually reading my textbook, preparing to teach my students for next week. And number 3 is me watching my favorite football team. Definitely not mine because they're not doing well at the moment. So we have these 3 options. Now, but if we want to put in hierarchy on priority, I would say watching a video on Prep Station is more important to me. So if I choose that, I have 2 options left. Number 2 is I would get to read my textbook. So that means option B would be our alternative forgone. And the key word is best alternative because I have 2 options. It's either I prepare for my students next week or I watch that boring match of defeat of Man U once again. And of course, the best alternative forgone would now be preparing for my students next week. And that brings me to the wrap of this lesson, of these questions. I hope you'll be able to get some things. Don't worry, we still have more to cover. Thank you. So we'll take a break now and we'll come back to more economic concepts.